What if your biggest mistake on a flight starts before you even board the plane? Most people have no idea that the cleanest seat might be the coldest, that the tea they sip could be contaminated, or that the most polite passengers often get the worst service. Airplanes are one of the most advanced ways to travel, but let's be honest, most people still don't know half the secrets, the ones that make flying easier, cleaner, and more comfortable. Every time you fly, you're surrounded by small decisions: where to sit, what to wear, what to ask for, what to avoid, that either make your trip smooth and safe or quietly miserable. And while most travelers pay extra for things that should be free, others are quietly accessing hot showers, SIM cards, city tours, lounge passes, even free transportation, all without spending an extra dime. This isn't guesswork or airline gossip. These are real, overlooked advantages that could change how you experience air travel. In this video, we're diving into 7 of the most useful flight secrets that airlines won't tell you, but every smart traveler should know before their next trip. Hit subscribe so you're always ahead of the airport game.
The cold truth about window seats. You paid for that seat. You chose the window for the view, the quiet, the space to lean. But no one told you it might be the coldest spot on the entire aircraft. While everyone else settles in, you're the one shifting, curling up, pressing your arms against your body just to stay warm. And it's not just in your head. At cruising altitude, the air outside the cabin can reach minus 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The fuselage may be engineered to insulate, but that kind of cold doesn't stay outside. It creeps through the structure, thin metal, high-velocity pressurized air systems, until it finds the edges, the walls, the windows, and the people sitting closest to them. What most travelers don't realize is that window seats are directly affected by this cold transfer. The closer you are to the aircraft's skin, the more likely you are to feel the chill, especially in long-haul flights where the cabin temperature is regulated for average comfort, not individual exposure. Flight attendants know it. Frequent flyers know it. First-timers only figure it out mid-flight when it's too late to fix. During colder seasons, people come prepared, but it's during the warmer months, summer especially, when it catches you off guard. You board in shorts, a t-shirt, maybe flip-flops if you're flying casual. The cabin feels normal at first, but once altitude kicks in and the outside air thins, your seat starts to feel like the side of a walk-in freezer. You're not dressed for it, and unless you ask for a blanket early, you're left with nothing but arm hair and regret. What's worse is that by the time you feel the cold, the cabin crew may have already run out of extras. Blankets are stocked in limited numbers. Not every airline offers them for free. And the person who asked politely 15 minutes ago, they got the last one. The fix is simple, but it requires foresight. Bring a sweater or light jacket, even if it's sweltering outside. Carry a scarf or compact throw you can stuff into your personal item. Or if you know you want the view but hate the cold, be among the first to ask for a blanket the moment you board. These aren't amenities. They're survival items in a climate you don't control. So the next time you select that window seat, don't think about just the view. Think about what it costs your body over the next 6 hours. The quietest spot on the plane is also the coldest. And now you know what to do about it. The filth no one talks about. You wouldn't eat off a toilet seat, but every time you unwrap a sandwich on an airplane tray table, you're coming pretty close. Studies have shown that the average tray table harbors more bacteria than the flush button in the lavatory, and unlike the bathroom, it rarely gets cleaned between flights. The assumption is that after passengers disembark, the cabin is cleaned thoroughly before boarding begins again. In reality, turnaround time is tight, and cleaning crews are focused on visible trash and seat arrangement, not disinfecting personal surfaces. The result? Whatever the last passenger left behind, stains, oils, skin contact, crumbs, spills, is waiting for you when you sit down. Tray tables aren't just dirty. They're used in ways most travelers would rather not imagine. Flight attendants have reported everything from used tissues and toenail clippings to baby diapers being changed right on top of them. Some passengers nap with their heads on the tray. Others use it as a footrest. And then, on your flight, it's where you're expected to set down your food. The seat back pocket isn't much better. It's the catch-all for receipts, food wrappers, unfinished snacks, used napkins, and whatever else someone didn't want to carry off the plane. In some cases, biohazard material has been left behind and gone unnoticed for multiple legs of a route. What makes these surfaces especially problematic is that they appear clean. There's no visible dirt, no warning sign. They're neutral gray plastic, and they blend into the background of your flight experience. But that illusion of cleanliness is exactly what makes them dangerous. You lower the tray, unwrap your sandwich, open your laptop, and by then, your hands have already picked up more bacteria than they would in a public restroom. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires preparation. A small pack of disinfectant wipes in your carry-on is one of the most practical tools you can bring on board. Wipe the tray table thoroughly before using it. Don't store personal items in the seat back pocket. And never place food directly on any cabin surface. If you're eating, keep your food in its packaging or use a travel-safe container. Even better, offer hand sanitizer before and after the meal, especially on long-haul flights when fatigue makes you less alert to small routines like hand hygiene. Flying isn't sterile. It's public space compressed into a tight metal tube for hours at a time. But knowing where the risks are and how to neutralize them can shift the entire experiment from careless to intentional. Most passengers board without giving it a second thought. You won't be one of them.
Why you should never drink hot tea or coffee. You're offered a hot drink, coffee or tea. It seems harmless, even comforting. You accept without hesitation, because you're on a flight and that's what people do. But what you're really drinking might be something you'd never touch on the ground. The hot beverages served on board, coffee, tea, even instant soups, aren't made with bottled water. They rely on water stored in onboard tanks, systems built into the plane itself. And that's where the real issue begins. These tanks aren't cleaned nearly as often as you'd expect. In some cases, they go months without proper sanitization. Routine testing has revealed that the water inside can contain harmful bacteria like E. coli and Staphylococcus. It's not a theory, it's documented. Regulatory agencies have flagged these findings for years, but enforcement varies, and aircraft are often cleared for flight without comprehensive internal cleaning. What makes this more concerning is the way the water is heated. Boiling does reduce some bacterial load, but most airline hot water dispensers don't reach true boiling temperatures. The water is hot enough to make tea or coffee, but not consistently hot enough to sterilize what might be inside. Flight attendants know this. Some of them quietly avoid the hot drinks altogether. They've seen the tanks, they know the maintenance schedules. And if the people serving the beverage won't drink it themselves, that should tell you everything you need to know. So what do you do instead? Stick to bottled water, sealed juices, or canned sodas. Anything that comes in its original packaging has been processed under food safety standards, not rushed through a questionable onboard system. If you need caffeine, consider bringing your own instant coffee or tea bag and asking for bottled water to mix it with after the flight. Or better yet, hydrate properly before you board and sleep through the beverage cart. It's easy to overlook small choices on a plane, but what you put into your body at 35,000 feet matters, especially when the source is something most passengers never question. The tea may be hot, but the truth is colder than you think.
Why early flights are secret gold. By the time your afternoon flight takes off, if it takes off, it's already inherited the problems of the entire day. Mechanical delays, crew timing issues, weather patterns stacking up across the country. What started as a simple route turns into a chain reaction you can't control. But there's a way to bypass all of it. Book the earliest flight you can. Morning flights are the least likely to be delayed. The aircraft has usually been parked overnight, the crew is fresh, and air traffic is lighter. Fewer planes means fewer conflicts on the ground and in the air. The system is clean before the backups, reroutes, and the last-minute maintenance calls begin. There's another benefit most passengers don't expect: smoother air. Turbulence builds during the day, especially in warmer seasons. Heat rises, and with it comes atmospheric instability. Morning air is cooler, calmer, and more predictable. Flights at 6 a.m. feel different than those at 2 p.m., not just in schedule, but in comfort. Booking early isn't just about arriving on time. It's about controlling what little you can in a system that doesn't answer to you. You don't need travel status or insider connections. You just need to choose a better time to fly. Set the alarm, skip the crowds, and move through a quieter, more functional version of the airport. Every hour after sunrise increases the chance of disruption. The earlier you take off, the fewer problems you inherit. And when you land on time, while everyone else is still waiting for a gate, you'll understand why this one decision makes all the difference. The VIP treatment in coach that no one talks about. Most travelers book seats toward the front of the plane, thinking that proximity means priority, quicker boarding, faster exit, maybe even better service. But here's what they don't realize. The real advantages are often at the back, quiet, overlooked, and unexpected. In economy, everyone is treated the same on paper, but in practice, flight attendants still have to navigate crowd psychology. Serving an extra snack or offering a second drink in row 8, everyone sees it. And once they do, they ask for the same. What begins as a small favor turns into a full-service rerun for the entire cabin. But near the back of the plane, crew members can move with more flexibility. They're not under the spotlight. They can offer a blanket, an extra bottle of water, or an unclaimed snack quietly because no one is watching, and no one expects it. It's not guaranteed, but it happens more often than passengers realize. Many flight attendants have confirmed this privately. If you're kind, calm, and seated away from the crowd, they're more likely to go the extra step for you. It's easier to help a quiet traveler in row 27 than it is to answer 20 requests after being spotted helping someone in row 7. And while it's true that sitting farther back means you'll deplane later, that trade-off might be worth it, especially on long-haul or overnight flights when comfort matters more than beating the crowd to baggage claim. If you're the kind of traveler who values attention to detail, personalized service, or just a bit more human connection, the back of the plane isn't second class. It's simply less crowded with expectations, and that's where small upgrades happen quietly.
Comfort, cleanliness, and safety hacks. Some flight habits seem harmless until you realize what you're sitting on, what you're wearing, or what you forgot to pack is quietly working against you. First, don't wear shorts on a plane. It sounds convenient, especially on warm travel days, but here's what most passengers miss. Airline seats are not deeply cleaned between flights. Hundreds of passengers cycle through the same fabric each week, and standard turnaround cleaning only covers trash and visible mess. The seat you're in, it could have traces of skin oils, crumbs, or worse. Wearing long pants isn't just about warmth. It's a basic layer of separation between you and whatever the last 3 people left behind. Second, your inflatable neck pillow. If you're using one, never fill it to capacity before takeoff. Cabin pressure changes during flight, and anything airtight will expand. That fully pumped pillow can become rock hard midair or even pop a seam. Leave room for air expansion, just enough to keep your neck supported without turning the cushion into a balloon. And finally, the item travelers forget more often than anything else, a pen. It sounds minor until you're handed a customs form at 3 a.m. and realize no one around you has one either. Airports don't supply them. Flight attendants don't always carry extras, and without one, you're stuck waiting, asking strangers, or scrambling once you land. A single pen in your carry-on saves time, frustration, and missed connections. Small choices, minimal effort, maximum impact. The airport freebie arsenal. Most people think airports are designed to drain your wallet, and most of the time they're right. But buried beneath the overpriced coffee and last-minute baggage fees, there's an entire system of free services that seasoned travelers quietly take advantage of. You just need to know where to look and what to ask for. Start with hydration. After security, bottled water often jumps to $5 or more, but most international airports have hidden refill stations, clean, filtered, and free. Bring an empty, reusable bottle in your carry-on. Fill it once you're through the gate. It's the simplest way to stay hydrated without playing into airport pricing games. Need Wi-Fi beyond the usual 30-minute bait and switch? There's a trick. When your time runs out, switch your device to airplane mode. Wait 10 seconds, turn Wi-Fi back on. You've just reset the session. No passwords, no fees, no sketchy login screens. Feeling exhausted from a long haul? Some airports offer free showers. Others hand out complimentary SIM cards with enough data and call time to get you started in a new city. You'll find this in places like Singapore's Changi or Dubai International. Don't wait to discover it by accident. Head straight to the information desk and ask. Have a layover longer than 5 hours? Certain airports, like Istanbul, Doha, or Singapore, offer free city tours for transit passengers. No extra ticket, no paperwork, just a passport, some waiting time, and a willingness to step outside. It's a smarter way to turn airport dead time into a cultural experience. And in cities like Zurich or Hong Kong, your plane ticket includes free transport to the city center. Shuttle, train, sometimes even tram. No Uber, no fare negotiation, just follow the signs and know in advance that it's there. These aren't loopholes. They're public offerings most travelers never hear about because they don't ask. But the airports won't advertise them loudly. You need to go to the information counter. Check the website before your flight, look under transit services or passenger support. One 5-minute search can save you money, reduce stress, and add real value to your journey. You don't need status to travel smart. You just need to know what most people don't. Before your suitcase is even zipped, a few smart decisions can shape your entire trip. Not flashy upgrades or secret deals, just a kind of planning that saves time, reduces stress, and puts you in control when things shift midair. Start with your airline's app. It's not just for boarding passes. You'll get real-time alerts if your gate changes, your seat gets reassigned, or your flight is delayed. And if it's canceled, the app often lets you rebook instantly before the line at the counter even forms. When searching for flights, always go incognito. Flight websites track your behavior. The more you revisit a route, the higher the price may climb. Private browsing protects your data and your fare. Clear your cookies too, just to stay one step ahead. Picking your seat blindly is a gamble. Use a tool like Seat Guru to preview the layout. You'll know exactly which seats don't recline, which are near the lavatory, and which have extra legroom. 5 minutes of research can turn a cramped trip into a comfortable one. And finally, bring a reusable bottle. Empty it before security, refill it after. It costs nothing, keeps you hydrated at altitude, and saves you from paying for overpriced water and plastic. Small moves, major difference. Now let's recap. 1. Window seats are colder than you think. Layer up or ask early for a blanket. 2. Tray tables and seat back pockets, dirtier than the lavatory. Always disinfect. 3. Skip the hot drinks. Aircraft water tanks don't meet drinking standards. 4. Morning flights mean fewer delays and smoother skies. Book early. 5. Sit near the back for discreet, better service. Yes, even in coach. 6. Wear long pants, underinflate your pillow, and always bring a pen. Use airport freebies, showers, Wi-Fi tricks, city tours, and sims. They're real. If you learned even one new trick, hit like and drop your favorite travel hack in the comments. Subscribe for more travel secrets because the best trips start before takeoff.